Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody wants to say this, but hey, sometimes on YouTube you've got to put it out there. If you listen to this video and you like what you hear, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe, slap the bell, do whatever it is you need to do. You know how to do it. Just do what you got to do. And thank you for watching. Now, that's enough panhandling. Let's get on with the video. Now we've got those shenanigans out the way. Let's talk Blizzard. Yes, we're going to talk Blizzard. We're going to talk Blizzcon, because we haven't touched on it yet, and I didn't want to just do a video for the sake of the hype, the fact it was particularly well clicked, that everybody wanted to hear what the current take was, what all the news was. Everybody's watched, you know, countless deep dives into people basically regurgitating exactly the same thing, and when you hear people talk who are actually there, you listen to developers, I don't think they know entirely everything that's going into Shadowlands just yet. It seems like they're still very much experimenting, still very much waiting for our take on it with regards to how we perceive 8.3 and going forward. I think they already know that a lot of things with BFA, shall we say, hasn't worked, but we should get on to that. First of all, I don't think you can talk BlizzCon without talking about the Hong Kong issue and how that was handled. Now, a lot of people have said that the apology was phony, it was fake, wasn't real, and everything else. I can't testify it was, I can't testify it wasn't. But for me, I don't know what else you want. And I've said this before, I said this before BlizzCon actually happened. For people to protest, for people to do the whole hashtag boycott Blizzard and everything else, what is your goal? You have to have an end goal with any of these types of things. You have to say, we would like, you know, our brothers in arms freed from prison. We would like the oppression of people to end. We want something. There has to be some goal. But there doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be somebody has said they've done a naughty thing and we're just going to keep having a go. And this is a sad thing, and we're going to get serious here for a second. If you don't want to, I'll put a timestamp down below and you can skip straight to the video of Shadowlands and the good stuff to come from BlizzCon. But let's get real for a second. So now that if you've wanted to jump, you've jumped. Let's talk. When Blizzard hit Blitzchung with a extremely harsh ban, a lot of people quite rightfully stood up and said, this is wrong. This can't happen. Freedom of speech and everything else. We spoke about this in a previous video, so if I sound flippant or I'm skipping over things, it's purely the fact that we've already talked about it. I don't want to recover old ground. But what people seem to be missing is Blitzchung said those words not for Blizzard to be punished, not for people to boycott Blizzard, not for people to go, oh my god, I'm not buying anything from Blizzard ever again. He said it because people need to understand the greater things that are going on in Hong Kong. I am not the person to tell you about them. Go and look it up, go and talk to people, go and listen to people who are actually experiencing that day to day. Understand, if you want to, having heard that information, having assimilated that information, that you want to do more, you want to go further. Attacking Blizzard is not the way to do it. Politics. You need to go to your representatives, be it in the UK, the US, Europe, wherever you are. Go to the people that can actually make a change. Blizzard cannot. This constant harassment, punishment, the slating of Blizzard and everything else, yes, they did wrong, but the way I look at it is, Blizzard are a company. Now, very much like your pet dog, you don't want your pet dog to pee on the carpet, but they will do from time to time. You can't help it. You hope that the way you impart knowledge and the way you hope that training and everything else, that they won't do it, but they're going to. Blizzard is a company out to make money. They will always be watching out for the bottom line. They'll be watching out for the shareholders. It may disappoint you every now and again, but that is the bottom line. And if you wanted Blizzard to say, somehow, or Activision Blizzard I should say, to get rid of the stake that Chinese companies have into them, that might be the goal that you wanted. But that's never been stated by anybody. And I've mentioned this many times. Now, all those people I saw in Twitter Explode, I follow a lot of gaming people, and all of them are boycott Blizzard. Blizzard is disgusting. You still see it now on YouTube. But the other day, and this is why I wanted people that weren't overly interested in this to skip, was because there was a video that showed a police officer shooting a person in the face. Not our usual fun, happy, grim rants topic, but it's true, and I saw nobody comment. Nobody came out, Nobody was saying this is disgraceful, as in the circles that had been going boycott Blizzard. They said it because it was the thing to say. They said it was the tweet to say. It was the thing to do. You look at, there's a little sketch that Red Letter Media did, and their phones go off with an alert from what you perceive to be a terrorist attack or something, some tragedy that's happened, and they go hashtag thoughts and prayers, hashtag not again, hashtag hearts go out to the people of X. I'm paraphrasing, but this is in essence. Then at the very end, they send all these tweets out and all these messages, and then they go, whew, put their phones back in the pocket and go, well, we've done our bit. Yeah, whew, should we go watch a film? And they go off and watch a film. And that's very much how this whole Blizzard thing seems to be. But enough of that. I just think it's very sad that people are kind of missing the point, I think, of what Blitzchung was trying to say. None of this was meant to be about his punishment. It was meant to be about Hong Kong and his passionate plea for people to see the situation there. Now, I've already been talking for 6 minutes, and we've only covered still the Hong Kong issue that I've spoken about previously. I apologise for that. Let us now crack on with BlizzCon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you skipped to this point, welcome back. We are now on to lighter subjects. We're going to discuss Shadowlands, Blizz, and everything else. Yes, all of the BlizzCon stuff that was... Yeah, we called it. Yeah, we should really have gone and done the lottery because we called it. We said that there would be a new Overwatch. Yep, that wasn't surprising. There was going to be Diablo4. Yep, that was kind of obvious. There was going to be a new expansion for WoW and all those things. And I will say, I think... No, I was wrong. They didn't bring out any sort of animated series. They didn't bring out any fighting games or anything. I will say, I don't think they intended to reveal Overwatch 2 just yet. I think they could have waited. I think they had that in their back pocket and they rushed it to say, look, we've got Overwatch 2 as well. Woo! Because Cuddles was asking me some questions about it, and I went to the deep dive panel, and there was nothing. There was no real details for the deep dive, not that you would expect. If you have a look at a game that is very much ready for release, or there or thereabouts, and that's Diablo4, then you can see the deep dive information is there. There's a lot of the mechanics of the game. They're happy to talk about it. They're happy to talk about the settings, how things are going to work. With Overwatch, it's very much, you know, as Todd Howard would say, it just works. They talked a little bit how they wanted to integrate with Overwatch 1. They said a lot of the key phrases people want to hear. I don't want to lose my skins and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So yeah, Overwatch 2, I don't think there's a lot to talk about. I think we need to see a lot more from that. Diablo 4. I've said this before on the channel. I'm not a huge Diablo player. For me, Diablo is very much a mobile phone game. If I have 20 minutes spare, or I'm rendering a video and I want to jump on something, I will literally just go and I'll blitz a little bit of Diablo. Absolutely love it, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I min-max. It's not something whereby I will go to Icy Veins or whatever, look at what the current meta build is and try and build my class around that. I just play because it's fun, and there you go, that's it. It gives me that feeling that I would love WoW to give me back, which is risk-reward. I play on a brand new character, I put it all the way up to Torment 3, Torment 4, and I try and play on that character, and it gives me a sense of challenge. When I overcome, pull a whole zone and you overcome that challenge, it feels good, it feels satisfying, and I can do that 15-20 minutes, and then I can come off and play whatever else I want to do, or keep editing videos, whatever. So Diablo 4 looks fantastic. I love the way they've taken it in terms of kind of MMO light, where you're going to have these public areas in the world, but then when you go into dungeons and such forth, then those are going to be entirely for you and you alone, which I really like. I like that. It reminds me of, very loosely, of kind of Dark Age of Camelot, where you had those hubs that you would go to, and then when you went into sort of your specific bit, it would be instance. So I kind of like that. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Really 9 minutes in, I'm only just getting onto Shadowlands. But again, there isn't a huge amount to talk about. I am excited for Shadowlands. I'm intrigued by the story. I'm intrigued. I, once again, don't like how it started. The whole cinematic with Sourfang, I think, was emotionally driven, not story driven. Because at the end of the day, if they all accepted how the fight was going to go down, Thrall said, you cannot win this. My phone's going to go ding. Yes, it did. But you lose that. It's a Mok'Gara. And everybody knew the terms. She won fair and square, and everybody said, oh, well, you know, her blades were poisoned or whatever. Brrr. We've had a couple now where it's been like that. Thrall used magic. I think the rules of Mock Gra are very loose, let's put it that way, in Blizzard's eyes. But technically she did win. If she hadn't said anything, that was it. The war was over. Technically, what could have happened was Anduin stood there with his army, and all of those Horde troops that were next to him would have just turned and looked straight at his guys and be like, well, she won the Mock Gra. We're not going to go to war with her and, you know, her now. So they kind of just, once again, they took a character that was very cold, calculating, would spend years formulating a plan. She kind of got really angry because her eye got sliced, her eyelid got cut. So, yeah. So we're starting off with that kind of loose story again, which doesn't fill me with happiness, but, oh, the nostalgia bomb, yes. The amount of people, friends, enemies that we're now going to visit in the Shadowlands. Potentially Arthas could be there, so that would be an interesting one. Can you okay, here's a little one for you. Can you imagine if Arthas is the one that takes down Sylvanas? Now this is uncorrupted Arthas, not Lich King Arthas. This is Arthas there redeeming for past deeds, and he's there and he takes it like the ghosts of old. Uther's there. See, I'm a Horde player and I would happily have this. If Uther was there and you had, you know, Arthas is there, and they're all stood there, and Sourfang's there, the ghosts of these heroes, and they take down Sylvanas at the end. I don't particularly want Sylvanas to die, but the state that they have left that character in, she is a full-on moustache-twiddling bad guy now, so it's going to happen. I mean, you only got to look at the past, how she's very much the Gul'dan, so I think she will go down mid. My guess would be mid-expansion, and then we'll be on to bigger, scarier things. I would prefer it if they utilised her in some better way. I think that's a very rich character, and I don't think we have very many rich, good characters coming through. Covenants. From a casual... I'm jumping around here, apologies, just as things come to mind. But yeah, story-wise, we'll see. Hopefully it's better than BFA. If it's worse, I will be very much shocked. So, Covenants. Covenants, I'm excited for. I'm interested in the Covenants. They feel very much like Legion to me, and with the Order Halls, which is a good thing. I thoroughly enjoyed the Order Halls. The fact that I can join many of these on my different alts, and it's very alt-friendly, I like. I have an issue with balancing, but we shall see. Let's put it that way. I have an issue with the fact that how are these special abilities going to work, because as much as Blizzard always say, well, you know, we can balance these things, we can tweak them, there is still always one that mathematically is better. And I think for those playing at the very top, that matters a huge deal. And to have to play through a story that you don't really want to play through because of one ability, I think is very sad. Talking of abilities, pruning. Yes, the unpruning is happening. We're going to get abilities back. I hope we don't get too cluttered. I hope some way that we can have these abilities back, that they can feel like the base, the foundation of your class, but don't take away from if you happen to have a good rotation or a good flow. Don't just jam things in for the sake of it. That's my issue, and I would like to see something new. It's that double-edged sword that I want all the old things back. I want brand new shiny things as well. I don't know if Blizzard can win with that one. I'm intrigued, as I say, by the abilities we're going to get from the Covenants. And I'm intrigued to see how they bring the pruning stuff back. Especially as a Warlock, because if you play... I main Warlock, and it's... If you jump between the 3 specs, there's no follow-through. There's no feeling that what I'm doing ties into... I don't feel like a Warlock that's kind of just adjusting my style. It feels like very distinct classes to me, very, very separate. And it would be nice to have a foundation, so that, especially as this, and this is kind of our final bit, if this is so focused on bringing new blood, this is very much a revitalization. This is a reboot for World of Warcraft, I feel. We've got the Lich King, which everybody knows. We've got the whole new leveling area, the new leveling structure, which I find fantastic and absolutely amazing. We've got all these heroes of old, and I think this is what they wanted to do when we went back to Warlords of Draenor. It was meant to pull new players in. They would, you know, because it's WoW anniversary, you would see all these old heroes that you'd heard of, but I don't think it quite worked. I think they've structured and fleshed it out a bit more with Shadowlands. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm intrigued to see what happens. As I said before when I was talking about BlizzCon itself, I was a die-hard fan before BFA. Now I'm kind of a cynical observer. So it's going to take a lot more to actually win me over. But they're going in the right direction. I think that's important. I think taking on board what people say is good. I did have this thought. I will finish on this, see what you guys think. It would be nice if we obviously had the Mythic Plus chest. It would be nice if you also had, say, a raiding chest, if you had a PvP chest, and you also had... Or actually, okay, scratch this, because I'm now thinking on the fly. What about if you just had one chest, and your actions that you do go towards your rewards for that chest? Now, you could have PvP and PvE separate. I'm fine with that. But it's not just M+ that goes towards that chest. If you just happen to raid, granted, you're going to be doing M+, but let's just say you just raid. You do some normal raiding. That should reward you with something for your chest. You do Mythic Plus up to a certain level, that rewards you with something in your chest. If you do every single daily in every single zone for an entire week, that rewards you with something different in your chest. So there is ways to get gear. Yes, the rewards should 110% be relevant to the content you are doing. But you could also have like PvE world quests. You've done all these world quests every day over and over again because that's what you like to do. Well, hey, that's going to give you something. It's not going to be as good as what somebody running a +20 is going to get, and I would also bump that up. I would have it going way up until like +20s. Actually, because by the time you get certain gear, +10 isn't that hard. I mean, geez, I can do a +10. That's saying something. But anyway, I could ramble on and on about M+ and gear and everything else. As I say, Shadowlands, yeah, I'm happy the direction we're going in, but I'm yet to be fully sold on it. That's me done, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.